Hello, my beautiful friends. Guess who? um, I just made another video and I made it specifically for myself. So I'm not actually going to be posting it, but I wanted to mention it because what it was me just processing through a lot of stuff. I find actually process by talking. And so I know I'm going to be like, I'm heading towards being like a talk therapist, talk healer, energetic healer. And so if I don't have somebody else to talk to, I can just talk to myself. Does that make me crazy? Probably. I already know I'm crazy. I love it. I just own who I am, and who I am is beautiful and amazing and freaking brave. And I've been told recently sometimes a little bit intimidating. But in regards to that, I'm getting another call. Why do I always get calls when I'm making videos? This one is a 1-800 number, so I am not going to answer it because I don't care to be sold anything. Thank you very much. Anyways, I've been told that I can be a little bit like intimidating or intense, a little bit much. Um, and I shared that with my counselor. Not that it was bothering me. I was just kind of saying, oh, yeah, I've heard this from people before. And his point was like to not let that stop who I am, not to change who I am to suit somebody else. And that really resonates. I think that that's something that all of you need to hear. Um, when there is a bright light in you, uh, there will be people that are jealous or feel uncomfortable with your light, and they will actually try to bring you down, not necessarily because of who you are or because they're mad at you, but because your light is exposing something they don't like about themselves and it makes them uncomfortable. And so they're like, turn the light off, please. And so I've experienced this at various times in my life, where there's kind of like this energy of people wanting me to like dumb myself down to be on their level or something, or to make my messages more, I don't know, palatable. Not that I don't think my messages are unpalatable, but maybe not quite so full of truth and clarity or something. It's almost like people get comfortable in the darkness because that's what they're used to. They get comfortable with those illusions and those dark, I've talked about like kind of the dark covering that can be placed over us so that we can't see clearly. And I've been called to be somebody who, through my words and my presence in my videos, um, to help remove that and to start, putting cracks in those dark coverings in the conditioning and all that has been holding people kind of captive and keeping people stagnant and stuck. And I acknowledge and see the fact that that can be uncomfortable for people. Deep down, we all do want to come out from under the darkness. We desire, like when people see my light, they desire to be in that same place. But they're maybe like scared or like, or the darkness kind of fights a little bit, when you're so I'll put it in ways of what my experience has been as far as fighting the darkness. It will fight you back. It will try, especially if it's been a part of your life for a while. It will try to fight you and continue to lie to you or find a new way to, if it's like, oh, that particular perception filter is not working anymore. This person woke up to that one. Let's try something different. And it's usually going to be based in fear. The two main energies that are in the world and in the universe in general are love and fear. And you can kind of know which one is of the light and which one is of the darkness. Um, because then all the other beautiful light energies kind of are stem from love, you know? Um, all the fruits of the spirit, love, joy, peace, um, all the good stuff. It comes from that energy of love, of unconditional love, which is who God is. Um, and fear is is darkness. Fear is darkness. And fear is um the main weapon, I guess you could say, that the darkness tries to use to keep you stuck. The main covering over your eyes. I keep on making this sign because, like, as an empath, it's like I can almost like see slash feel that energy where it's just kind of like I see it kind of as like a dark cloak that's been placed over somebody's eyes so they can barely see the real truth of what's going on. Everything is illusions. They might get little glimpses of the light, and I think that's where I come in. Is like my words in my way of being kind of pokes holes in that cloak and gets through that fog that's over their eyes and starts to wake them up to, oh, hey, there's another way. I don't have to stay in this place, you know? And it's interesting that as I'm speaking this way, like I feel the darkness trying to fight me because it doesn't want these messages coming out. It knows how powerful these words are and that it's going to lose control over my listeners, you know? So I feel it fighting me too. But my trust is in God and in love and light. And as I was starting to walk this path, there was another empath that gave me that word surrender that I've referred to and I continue to work with on a daily basis. But the other thing she said to me was that the light always overcomes the darkness. And it's true. It might take some time in some cases, but the light and love always finds a way. The energy, whereas like fear and darkness is a very like stagnant kind of heavy energy, the way that the love energy is it flows like water. So what's cool about that is that, you know, fear can be like, it kind of puts this heavy, like I'm making this, you know, like this is a rock or a boulder or something, and just like putting this big old barrier in your way. And it seems insurmountable, you know, and just like, oh my gosh, my whole way is blocked by this giant boulder that's very solid and I can't get through it, you know. But what's so cool about love and light is because it's an energy that flows, it can just flow under and around and over the top and even through these barriers because the reason I'm being given that analogy that it's like water is like water over time can completely do away with rock, with this heavy, you know, with this solid thing, this immovable thing, and it just flows and flows and flows. And sorry, I'm just getting a message from my friend who I may meet later for lunch. And so love is always going to win. It just is. I don't think that Satan was fully prepared for going head to head against God. Because I talked about in my last video about, you know, how God was like, okay, you can be the God of this world. And then people of their own free will get to choose which way is right. But God is freaking God, you know? And so he's always going to win. You just, if you want to be on the winning side, you just go, okay, God, I'm with you. And I know I'm going to win. And when you're approaching your battles against the darkness that way, the darkness loses so much power. It's just like, well, shit, you know, like I don't know how to fight this, because one way that I saw my battles against the darkness is I thought about it from a future perspective. And what I mean by that is I'd be like, well, I know. I'm fully convinced of the fact that in the future I have won this battle. Okay, so I just need to get from here to there, from here to that future where I've won. And so it was like this whole energy of like, it's a foregone conclusion. I'm going to win, you know? And it gives you this whole different perspective, I guess, and this whole different energy. You're not coming from a place of lack, like, oh gosh, I don't know, can I overcome this? I'm not sure. And oh, this darkness is really heavy and I'm scared and blah, you know? It's coming from this place of, I already know I've won. And it just gives you like so much freaking confidence and so much spiritual power. That confidence in God, that confidence in light, that confidence in love, you know, that it's like, it makes those battles so much easier, because you're just like, I already won. And so all that is needed to get from here to that future where you've won is a little endurance. That's it. And we can do that. Especially if you know, like if you already know that, let's put it this way in a way that everybody can understand. Say that next week on Saturday or whatever, you know for sure that you were going to win $1 million. Are you going to just be like, I don't know, give up on life on that Friday? Where you're just like, maybe you're going through like the worst battles of your life or whatever. But, and maybe money isn't so good, but let's just say, okay, all your dreams are going to come true. Everything that you've ever wanted, everything that is just going to give you joy and happiness and passion and like fulfillment and relief from all the burdens or whatever is coming next Saturday. So this is kind of dark, but I think you'll understand. So are you going to commit suicide on Friday then? Like, how stupid is that? Especially if you know that the next day everything's going to be like wonderful and all the things that were hurting you are going away, you know? I know that's kind of maybe an odd example, but I think you can understand the energy of that. And my hand is shaking. Oof. I'm going to switch to the other hand. Whew. And so yeah, when you go into those battles where you already know the outcome, then all you have to do is have a little endurance. And you know you're coming to that outcome that's going to be amazing and good. So, I think maybe where that differs from my example where I was like, I know on this certain day that I'm gonna, you know, everything's gonna be fine. We don't always know the timing of when the trials are gonna be over or when the battle's gonna be over. And we're not meant to. And that's one of the things we have to learn to deal with is the timing. Whew! And patience, that's a hard one. But it's still that knowledge of like, regardless of how long it takes, I know beyond a shadow of a doubt, I'm winning, I'm healing, I'm being awakened, I'm overcoming. So all I got to do is endure. And every day gets me closer to that, you know? And so I think one of the things that I'm being, that God is using me for as far as like the messages in these videos is to open our eyes and realize it's not nearly as hard to overcome the darkness as those perception filters would make us think. It's not nearly as hard as the darkness lies and says, "Oh man, this is going to be like the hardest thing ever, and it's not even worth you trying because, there's a pretty good chance you're going to lose." I'm laughing because it's like as long as you unite yourself with love and light, you're going to freaking win. And all you got to do is endure and keep reminding the darkness of that. It's like, I'm the light, you're the darkness. And so, as such, I'm always going to win. And I've got God on my side, I've got the angels on my side. If there's people that you loved that crossed over, they're on the other side giving you energy. I That's one of my gifts actually, is I'm able to sense people that have crossed over. Only people that are full of light. So, because when I first realized that I had this gift, I was just like, I really don't want to be approached by somebody who was like a dark energy or whatever. And I've been protected from that. And there's a clear boundary in my spirit where I'm just like, I will not interface with anybody that is in a dark spirit, that's in the darkness or of the darkness. But anybody who is full of light and, has a message that they want to pass on, I've actually experienced that a few times. And some of the people from my past will probably find that uncomfortable, but I don't care. I I don't care how my gifts, like how people react to my gifts, because my gifts just are. They just exist. And people's reaction to them is whatever it's going to be, and that's fine. I I've just been asked to pass on the messages. So that's what I do. And then what people do with that message is up to them, you know? Once I've been the messenger, so to speak, then the words speak for themselves, and it's up to the hearer, the listener, to do with that what they will, whether they completely reject it, okay, or whether they let that in and let it take root, okay, it's not my role to like babysit the messages that I'm given. But I find it interesting that I was just randomly prompted to say that I can speak to people on the other side. But it's a thing that I'm able to do. And what's so comforting about that is that over and over, it comes through that once somebody has crossed over, they have the ability to use their energy now to help the ones who are here still on earth fight their battles. And all you have to do, if you really want that energy to be effective, is to be open to that and just be like, okay, I'm not sure how I feel about, spirits or whatever, like you don't necessarily have to believe in that. But just open yourself to the idea of it, to the possibility of it. And so those people can help too. And so when you're in your battles against the darkness, you can 100% call out to people that have passed on the other side to help you. I have totally done that. It was with my grandpa first, and then my grandma passed around Christmas time. And I've sensed both of them with me, and both of them granting their energy to me when I'm fighting a battle. And there's just something that's so comforting and special. Like, it's like this extra dispensation of love, because this is somebody you knew who's on the other side giving you their energy. So not only do you have God and the angels, which is awesome, but to have somebody that you knew and loved while they were alive here, granting you their energy to fight. It's just like, as I'm saying that, like it warms my heart so much. I'm so thankful. I'm so thankful. Like my grandpa has been around me a lot, and once grandma passed over, it was really cool. She came to one of my counseling sessions. She came and sat in on one of my counseling sessions, and because my counselor is um, also an empath, and he senses people that have crossed over as well. Um, at first I wasn't sure whether to say anything, and then I just piped up and I was just like, I'm pretty sure that my grandma just came in and she's sitting in that rocking chair. And he's like, oh, yeah, I knew she was sitting in the rocking chair. I just wasn't sure who she was. And I was like, it was so freaking validating. I'm like, oh, good. You can sense that too. You know, it just kind of helps when you are around people that have similar gifts where they're just like, yeah, you're not crazy. I know most of the world gets kind of uncomfortable with this, but oh no, yeah, I totally sense her too. And oh, hi, grandma, you know. But it was so cool because what we were talking about was bringing up like some of my PTSD reactions to trauma that I'd been through, where my whole body was just in this anxious, like I was so tense and I couldn't breathe. And I could hardly even take in the words that my counselor was saying. And then she came in and I'm getting emotional because it was so special. She brought so much peace and love with her. My whole body just relaxed. My mind relaxed. This reaction that I couldn't control, like it's like this visceral, fear that your body's reacting even though your mind knows that you're safe now, but just the memories of going through stuff is sending your body into like overdrive. It was making it difficult for me to even like hear what was being said. And she came in and just exuded so much warmth and love. My whole body just relaxed. And I was able to just calm down and talk peacefully through that. And she stayed for the whole session. And then she went. Isn't that beautiful, you guys? So even if you don't, maybe, like even if you're not an empath and don't sense like spirits as strongly as me, just know that your loved ones who have crossed over, they are there for you. And if you're open to the idea of them being there for you and being in your life, then they can come and help you during some of your most difficult times. They will come and hold you. I've experienced that too when I was really, really sad. So interesting. My kitty is sleeping right now, and she's kind of almost crying in her sleep. I don't know. She's very sensitive to energy. And she plays off of me a lot, so I'm wondering if she was picking up my tears. I don't know. I haven't heard her do that before, but it's really sweet. But she's sound asleep. Anyways, I think I need to bring this video to a close. But I'm thankful to be used in this way. I'm thankful to pass on messages. I'll put that out there. I haven't I don't usually purposely seek out spirits from the other side. It's usually them seeking me out and saying, "Hey, can you please pass on this message to so and so?" But I'll put that out there. I have no idea what the result will be because again I haven't purposely done that myself where I'm reaching out to them necessarily, but I'm willing to try. And so if you feel prompted to ask me, if there's somebody that's crossed over and you want to see if they have a message for you, I am definitely willing to try. And I actually was told by somebody recently who was very she's a friend of mine that is very tapped in similarly. I'm kind of finding my community of other ones that have similar gifts to my own. And she said that I would be an excellent medium. So apparently that's a thing I can do. And so I would love to hone my skills. But yeah, so I don't know. I just want to put that out there if you're interested in that sort of thing. Um, it is real. It is a thing. I have channeled people before. I've passed on those messages. Um, and I'm willing to do that for you. So, again, I just want to do the caveat of like, if for some reason I can't contact whoever it is or it's not working, just know that, it's not something that, I can guarantee, but I figure if I'm open and they are open and there's somebody who was good and loving and full of light, then I am absolutely willing to make contact in that way. So, yeah, just ask me. You know where to find me. And I'm just owning who I am and owning my gifts. And I'm not asking anybody to believe in it because you're not me. But just because you don't believe in something doesn't mean it's not true. So I'll just leave you with that. So, yeah, so I think I'm going to bring this to an end, but I will see y'all later. Okay, bye.